Good evening, good evening. I am nowhere near ready for an actual setup, so just 1 second because you're probably not going to like this because it'll be slightly better than normal. Hello. Right. My desk was clear, see? Relatively clear for me anyway. And no paints, no nothing. But there is quite all right. However, I have got quite a few things splattered all over the top of the part just underneath the monitor. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I've not actually set up properly, because as you see, I've not got a base camera. Good evening, Buzzard. Good evening. How are you? Thank you for coming to join me tonight. I will eventually get on with it, but I'm just gonna post the link first, which means I've actually got to use YouTube and go to my channel and look at this. I don't like doing this bit. Yeah, I really don't like doing that bit. And one, so there we go. I should do that bit. So yes, my desk is clear, and having cleared it, I've found loads of models that I really need to paint. For instance, some of the ARC stuff, like my Shock Jump Dragster, which is pretty much ready to paint and does have a Space Marine shoulder pad stuck in it at the moment as well. I don't understand why that is. As well as the bikes, and I should have another vehicle as well up there. So I've got I found lots of other things to do as newer projects. Or my next few projects. I also need to readjust my camera so it's in the right place. So there are new things to do, but I don't think I'll be painting that tonight because that was a big project, and in the process of tidying all my paints away and clearing my desk, some of my paints are under my desk and some of my paints are in my box in the kitchen. And good evening, Sinscape Studios. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Long time no see.
I know. I missed last week because of I filmed a video, and with Buzzard's help, I've now corrected the small issue with it, and I should actually be able to put it. Well, I've not done it yet, but I know how to. But seeing as you have come up, I must thank you for something because it did arrive.
Oh, the Codex.
The Codex,
Yeah.
Space Marines for 10th edition, which I am very, 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 very thankful for.
I had a spare one going, and I know you needed one, so.
Well, in celebration of kind of getting this and me wanting to have certain models, because I don't think you can have a captain on a bike anymore, can you?
No, actually I never thought about that. No, there's no captains on bikes. The only thing there is chaplain.
Right. So, seeing as I have a leader on a bike, that is
I can imagine though that they'll probably.
Well, it's not in this codex. If it's not in this codex, it'll probably be in the next codex. I'll come out towards the end of the edition, I imagine. But
possibly, they might even make something special for one of the supplements.
But seeing as we have this codex at the moment, and I have a leader on a bike, skull helmet, and he doesn't have a Crozius, so I can't really field him properly as a chaplain. So while me and my missus were in Belfast over the weekend, she said I can treat myself to a model because we want a GW, well, a Warhammer now. So I treated myself to a chaplain in Terminator out.
A new one?
Yes. Yeah. For the sole reason I get 2 heads that are suitable for a chaplain. For instance, the one in Terminator armor actually has the open face with the grill mask.
Yeah. It's a nice model. It's a really nice model. I've got one to paint up for a customer, so
essentially I can put the flat Crozius on him, put the helmetless head on him, still put the Shield of a Wish, and then I will be able to put the skull head that I have spare and the Crozius that I have spare onto the other leader.
Yeah, because you get quite a few options in that little box, don't you?
Therefore, turning it into a.
But will the arm fit right? Will it look okay? Because obviously it's going to be a Terminator arm.
Well, it's a primary scale arm that is going on.
But it's still a Terminator primary scale arm, which will still be a bit chunkier.
True, but it's just the hand, which I think I can get away with if I'm using the big chunky headed mallet thing.
Oh, it's just a hand. I haven't actually seen
it's-
the sprue yet. It's still in the box.
Yes, the sprue there, you see, it's just the hand for that one.
Oh, right, okay, it'll be
The
fine
one
then.
that you make up afterwards as well is also the hand. So,
Yeah, it'll be fine then, yeah.
in celebration of doing that, I'm thinking I'm going to build up the Terminator chaplain and then see what I wish to paint up afterwards. If
Also, you're
But I'm
building
not sure-
it. That's a new one.
Well, yes, I'm going to build tonight, but thank you very much for this because.
Yeah, no worries. Have you
But also-
have you had a good read through it, through the detachments and all that?
Not yet. I only got back last night, so
Right.
I got back very late last night. Well, not very late, but I got back late last night, and I was very tired. I opened it because there's nothing like the smell of a new open book, but I haven't read through it all yet.
Cool.
However, so I'm going to put that to one side for now because yes, I'm building tonight. But
Some of the new detachments are quite cool.
well, I've read through most of them already because Battle Scribe do 10th edition now.
Yeah, of course.
So I can just select it, go view, and go, all right, okay, just that. It's just a pain to have to go in, add the unit in, find out, scroll through everything, find out what it does, and then.
Yeah, of course.
I just clicked on the wrong one.
If you get the subscription for the Warhammer app, you can enter the code in the back of that codex, then you can have the Warhammer app updated with it as well.
But you've got to get the subscription for the Warhammer app. I don't want to.
Yeah,
subscribe.
I can't remember how much it is. It's not really that much, to be honest. I think
True,
it was like £6.
Battle Scribe was nothing.
Yes, but Battle Scribe is nowhere near as good as the Warhammer app now.
No, it's not. I must admit, the Warhammer app is incredibly good, and I still use it for anything that's on an index.
Yeah.
So if I'm using it for the Grey Knights, or if I'm using it for, I won't be able to use it for Necrons much longer. But for Tau, it's still usable. So it's a very nice app. Very easily.
Okay, so they've done a great job with it. I use exclusively that. I don't use Battle Scribe anymore, mainly because of the risk involved with Battle Scribe. Next time a codex comes out, is Battle Scribe going to get updated? Next time the main rules get updated, is Battle Scribe going to, the guy who's running it doesn't care. So I would rather not give him the boost in numbers, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's not him specifically who does it. It's entirely.
No, but when we went to
driven.
10th edition, he couldn't give a shit, and Battle Scribe nearly went under. So.
But it was the community that kept it going with 9th edition anyway. It wasn't him. He just provided a platform, same as Tabletop Simulator. They just provide a platform. It's not them who do the actual stuff that we enjoy.
No, but Tabletop Simulator wasn't designed for 40k. Battle Scribe kind of was.
Well, it was designed for any. As long as you can build a repository for it and build the system into do it, you can have it in there. As far as I'm aware, you can do role playing games as well as tabletop battle games, and it's not just limited to 40k. That just happens to be what I use it for.
Yeah.
I also use it for Necromunda as well, which is helpful for Necromunda, especially with the new rules, because I can't remember what type of thing classes as a champion and which ones. Yeah, it's a real pain when they start adding stuff in, and you got about 97 books just to find out which ones you can build your starting gang out of.
Yeah.
Because I still do like the Van Saar, but I'm not sure about the arachnid suits and what you've got to do to get the glider things. And the glider ones are essentially due. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sold on some of it, but they can be useful. And it's nice to have it all in one place as well. Because they're constantly releasing stuff for Necromunda. These
Isn't
new things.
Necromunda not becoming just small 40k now, because you've got so many vehicles coming into the game now?
Well, it depends how you want to play it. If you play it as the Ash Waste, then I'm guessing yes, because you got vehicles and fast attack and other things in there.
Does that mean it's on a bigger board now?
It's. Do you know those cardboard fold-out bloody boards that they've got that they've decided is going to be the general size that you need? One of them for that side.
30 by 22
Yeah, those
inches.
Yeah, those ones. And yeah, essentially, so I think it's two of them.
So a normal size game. A normal size game of 40k then.
Yes, the board is. Well, no, because a normal size game of 40k for me would be 4 of those boards.
No, a normal size game is 2 of them.
What, you're supposed to put 2,000 points in just 2 of those boards?
I'm pretty sure it's 2 of them.
Wow, really?
It's 60 inches by 44.
That's 4 of those boards.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. Because you've got to, if you're doubling it one way, you're not doubling it the other with 2, are you? So if you put the 230 inches next to each other, then it becomes a 60 by then it becomes a 60 by 22 rather, or you can make it a 44 by 30 with 2 boards.
Yeah, okay, so it's meant to be 4 of them. Yeah.
So it's 4 boards, so no, it's half the size of a 40k.
Yeah.
Right, so you're supposed to go in.
Hello, Buzzard.
Yes, I believe he's the only person who's got me on at the moment because, well, he's very kind like that. And he's nice to me. Yeah, so that's supposed to go in hang about. Right, so that's the front. Goes in. Got you. That's why it's always better to dry fit people rather than just black glue on and just see, because I would have just glued that completely in the wrong place. And I found a mold line removal, which I'm sure you're probably going to be over the moon to hear.
Spend money on a mold line remover. Just use a scalpel.
No, I kind of did. Do you remember the Hachette Partworks things that they do? Well,
the what?
The magazines that usually do. Collect this thing in parts. Issue 1 is super cheap. Issue 2 is a bit cheaper than normal. Then every week it's going to be until the.
Is it that Imperium magazine?
It was one of those. I got the
Right.
Conquest one, which was essentially the 8th edition starter set. So
Right,
I got a load of Death Guard, as well as extra intercessors, another one of those, which means I now have 3 of these models.
I was looking at the Imperium magazine the other day, but I couldn't work out if it's still running or not.
I think it is, but it's coming to the end. I don't know if you've got any issues. They have just announced it over in America or Europe. I can't remember which one, but they have announced it abroad. No, in my luck, it's China and Japan now. So they are pushing to the point where they're shipping it abroad because it's coming towards the end of its run over here.
Right, okay, fair enough. Because I didn't even know about it until last week. I'd never heard of the magazine before.
Really? No, yeah, I got the set before it. I looked at this set and I was thinking, oh, it does look nice with all the Necrons and but I didn't want all the little piecemeal stuff. I didn't want Gulliman. I didn't want the sisters. I didn't want the Admech.
Gilliman. They were giving Gilliman free with it.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like it was a really good deal then.
Right. Do you actually know what you got with it?
I know it was like a free model each week, but I didn't know they were giving away.
Right.
Like,
do you know? It's not like
no,
it wasn't like a free model each week. Right. Do you remember the 9th edition starter set where you got Outriders and Assault Intercessors and?
Yeah.
Right. You got that. Okay. You got Gulliman. You got Kelgar. You got his Victrix Honor Guard. Then you got Celestine and a unit of sisters to just a battle line unit of sisters to go with her. You got 3 of the Admech machines, not the walking ones, the ones on tracks. You also got a Admech leader and some of the Skitari warriors.
Sounds like it's quite varied, and it was actually pretty good for your money.
On
If you
that,
wanted like a mixture of everything.
Well, that was just on the Imperium side. You do get some scenery and terrain scattered about in there. And on the Necron side, you got, again, the starter box set, but you got a crap load of other stuff as well. I think you ended up with a Ghost Ark or Doomsday. You ended up with that, with a whatever was the combat patrol as well, pretty much thrown in, as well as some other newer sculpts or newish sculpts. So essentially, you got an equivalent-ish size, not quite size Necron force to what the Imperium got in total.
For a magazine, that's pretty good though.
Well, it does work out very expensive, and you do get a crap load of paints with it as well. And you would have got other stuff if you would have went for the premium. I think you would have got. I think it's just a star collecting set essentially from 4 other different armies. I think it was Tau Chaos, Orcs, and somebody else. But
if I'd known about it and I was doing my business, I probably would have ordered it, and then each week painted up and auctioned off. Well, raffled off each miniature.
Well, that's part of the problem with that method is they don't actually send you full units all the time. So you may get 3 assault intercessors, and then you may get a sprue with 2 on it, and something else, and 1 of something else that you would have got 3 of in the box set, for instance. So it doesn't always work out quite able to, like, there's the
I get that though. They've got to keep you going next week. If you've only got 3 models, you're going to want to come back next week to get the other 2.
Well, it's not necessarily next week. It might be 3-4 weeks down the line.
Fair enough. You get my point, though.
Yeah. It was good. I got a huge boost to my Space Marines from it. A ridiculously huge boost. Having already had 2 of the 8th edition starter sets. So the 3rd gave me a great baseline troops. It gave me the 15 plasmas, give me enough captains and lieutenants coming out the wazoo. I had an ancient. I had a decent selection to go off, and then getting the 9th edition starter sets as well helped a lot. Because my friend got the Necrons, so I got 2 of them as well. And going back to the Hachette Part Works, issue 1 was the Primaris Lieutenant with shield and Neo Volkite pistol for £2. For £2, they sold that model for, with 6. I think you got dice with it as well. Oh, and you got a Royal Warden.
Oh, they've just released a model for that, haven't they?
Yeah, so you got the Royal Warden and the Primaris Lieutenant with Storm Shield and the Neo Volkite pistol.
Yeah.
I think it was either £2 or £3. Put it this way, it was ridiculously cheap, and that allowed me to push my what was 6 Blade Guard veterans into 9 Blade Guard veterans.
Cool.
Because you can upgrade the sergeant in a similar manner. Just he doesn't get a Valkyrie, he gets a plasma. Paint it blue, not orange. Ta-da! What? It works.
Sorry, go on.
No, I said what? It works. Paint it blue, not orange.
You interested in the new codexes coming out next week?
Necrons and Admech. I'm interested to have a look because I know someone who's got some Necrons, and he should have enough to field 2,000 points. Whether or not I'll feel comfortable playing him with my Space Marines is a different matter. But because his is a limited 2,000 points, where it's like, right, I pretty much know what you're taking because that's the only thing you got.
Yeah.
And then again, he could play Tau instead and just use the index, I suppose. There would be nothing stopping him. So, yeah, the Necrons does slightly interest me, but I am with a foresight of knowing what he's physically got as models and knowing what he could potentially proxy without asking me, which kind of gives it away a bit if he's asking me, can I borrow that model, and that model? It's like, I wonder what you're fielding then, if you're wanting to borrow all of my dreadnoughts. Nothing big at all, eh? Or asking if you can borrow hordes of whatever, just to flesh out warriors or anything like that.
Does that not get boring, just playing people who you know exactly what they've got every time?
No, that's why we encourage proxies. So when usually I would take most of my collection with me when we played. Not because I needed it to field, it's because other people would need my collection to field proxies.
Mm-hmm.
So, and other people would do the same as well. So we had a good selection of models to go. I need to represent something Riptide-ish. I need to represent something Wraithlord-ish. I need to represent something Sentinel-ish. So yeah, we encourage that type of. It's like it's the right size base. It's a bit shorter and a bit wider, so it kind of compensates. There you go. A standard dreadnought can be a Sentinel. Just face it sideways. Ta-da! So if the guard player wanted to field more Sentinels than he had, we could do it. It also made it a little bit confusing sometimes, depending on how many proxies were being used. And yeah.
That would. I understand it. I completely get the need to use proxies and stuff because some people just can't afford to buy a whole army and stuff like that, and that's fair enough. It's all about the fun. It's just a game.
Yep.
But it's so difficult for me to use proxies. I look at them and I think it just bothers my OCD. I would rather. If I had a game coming up soon and I know I needed to use a model that I don't have, but I've got something similar that could be used instead, I would rather spend the money and get the new model and get it built up as quickly as possible.
I see. I've out of bits and help with people with 3D printers and all sorts of other rubbish. I've built together what will soon be a chaplain on a bike, which should be interesting. And I have other. I wish I still had it because I could essentially just put one of my war bosses on the top, because that would be excellent. Having 2 of the same war boss from the 5th edition starter set is nice, although it's not got the attack squig. But I could have put one of those. I built something that would have been suitable. Put one of those on, and it would have been the Death Killer War Tracks or whatever the HQ unit's called now for the Orcs Speed War. The war boss on the back of a little fast-moving bike thing.
Yeah,
I really need to find out if that's still there. If it is, that would be excellent because Although it weighs a ton because it's actually got a brass bloody thing junction for what I'm not sure what it's for, but it's a pipe junction built into the back of it just to make sure it doesn't fall apart. It's actually got some sturdiness to it because somebody helped me make it, and it weighed a ton. It literally looked like an orc had beaten it together out of all sorts of other stuff. It was Space Marine bikes panelled to the side. There was just one lone orc sat at the front with a big grin on his face, driving the damn thing. I really hope I can find that, because if we can paint that up, it was intentionally supposed to be a battle wagon, and the back end of it did just about meet the parameters for it. The front end was just a bit low, that's all. So it would be quite impressive to stick a war boss on top and have it as a, I think, as a Death Killer war track. That would be fun.
It would. I guess Orcs is one of those things which you can proxy things, and I wouldn't feel so weirded out about.
Well, that's the problem. You can't anymore. The last time they allowed you to do that was what I think was 8th edition, and they released.
Of course, you can still proxy. It's up to your opponent.
Well, I mean, rules specifically for you to go. Do you want to know something? Orcs nick stuff from everybody. So here's a looted wagon. Here's a battle fortress. Here's a scrap built this. Here's a scrap built that. Here's a scrap built that.
Yeah, exactly. And any normal opponent would be more than happy for you to use a rhino to represent a truck, as long as you've painted it up and
sufficiently archified it.
Exactly. I wouldn't mind it. In fact, I think it would be pretty cool to face against a orc army that has converted a load of chimeras, basilisks, rhinos, and predators to trucks and battle wagons and stuff. I know someone who converted one of the new Cerastus Knights as a Gorkanaut.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
See, I like them, but the price that they charge for the Gorkanaut and Markanaut and the price that they charge for the Stomper is essentially the same. And I think that's ridiculous.
I think it's because the Stomper, it's a bigger model, but it's almost entirely hollow in the middle.
True.
And there's less detail on it. It's just one big giant ice cream cone turned upside down with a head. It's pretty much that's it. But the Gorkamorka and all that stuff, they have a bit more detail.
I don't know. The Stomper's got loads of little Gretchens scattered about all over it.
Well, it's got it's got about 6 of them, I think it is.
I can't remember how many there are. I think
it's not like dozens of them. It's like half a dozen to 10 at the most. I think it's about 6 to 8.
But still, it's got models scattered around it. It's also got some fire points. It does have some character. It's not just a flat. Although most of it is just paneling. I do understand what you're saying. It is
the main part of the model is literally 3 pieces.
Yeah, I've got one. It's just sat on the back of my computer because I can't bring myself to paint it. It's going to be a very huge undertaking. It's going to be a very huge undertaking.
Easiest way for me, I found, was just to stipple roughly on top of the panels and then do a little bit of clean work afterwards. And then use this thing called streaking grime, which is like from Green Stuff World. You just literally get a big brush, splash it all over the model, then a little bit of white spirit and wash it all off, and it's done. And it looks fantastic doing it that way.
No. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, and that's the problem. Once I know what I want to do with it, that's also the problem with my orcs in general. I'm not sure what I want to do with them because
you haven't picked a clan or anything like that.
Yes, but my models don't suit the clan that I've chosen.
What have you picked?
Well, They did, but they don't anymore because they've been orcs. I left them in a box and they battered the fuck out of each other all in parts. But I was Death Skulls, so primarily it was going to be blue as their coloured feature. But
So why don't they fit that now?
because they beat themselves to bloody death in the box.
Oh, right. Well, okay, fair enough. It's a lot of repair work then. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
That would put me off it. That would put me off completely. I would rather just start again and buy all new, but that's obviously not.
The models that are together are a shock dragster, whichever one had the rotating turret on the top. This one. But it's got a gun on the top with the rivet cannon.
Yeah. I get you. It's a nice model, actually.
That one. And 6 bikes. And a handful of infantry. So it's more suited to be painted red, really, what I've got at the moment. It's more of a speed war rather than a gunning war, which would suit the blue.
Well, you can still paint it blue like the typical colours for that clan, and then just put like several red panels, or maybe do a red stripe down the middle.
I do not want to do red and blue together. I wish to avoid red and blue as much as possible. I'm going to put a tiny bit of red on the Stomper, but that's only because it's been built from all sorts of stuff. So some stuff has been scavenged from.
Is the clan specifically like all of the armor is blue, or can you do it like mostly black with blue?
You can do it you can just do it with essentially a single blue shoulder pad. If it was going to be the shock dragster, I could paint it pretty much as a unpainted vehicle and just paint, say for instance, the back 2 panels here that have the orc glyphs on them.
Yeah.
If it was to paint those panels or a little bit of that one, that would suffice if I wanted it to, rather than painting them red or painting the entire thing blue or the entire thing red. I'm not forced into doing that, because I'm not forced into doing anything. As long as I think it looks all right, I'll paint it. You're well aware of this, because I think that model's still going to infuriate you, even though it's got a white leg.
It's meant to be all white, but yes.
I know. Yes, as I said, I believe that model's still going to infuriate you. But in this case, just having those bits blue.
If I ever played a game against you, like physically, like face to face, and not online, and you use that apothecary will be the first model to die, just because it's abhorrent to my eyes.
Oh, wait till you see my chaplain. Well, that's the war boss from them who survived, obviously. And even his boss Paul, just only a little bit of blue, and the spike on his shoulder he's painted blue, which I haven't done the highlighting blue for. So you don't have to go over the top on it.
Because I'm not really familiar with all the clan colours, to be honest with you. So it's like I've not been given a task to do them. I have got some orcs to paint, but they're all like the first one I did was a custom clan. The second one is a goth clan, so goth is just black. So
yes,
I've not really done much research into it. I think I might have someone who wants to do Evil Sons, but I don't remember. Evil Sons is orange or something, isn't it?
Yellow. But well, kind of. Evil Sons.
Yellow or orangey yellow?
Wait a minute. Evil Sons. No, because there's 2. No, I think actually, that's a good point. I can't remember right now, and I don't have an art codex to hand to go double check.
Nah, don't worry about it.
I think yellow, but I may be getting that mistaken with one of the other clans.
Well, I know the Age of Sigmar has a yellow one, but I've not I've not seen a 40k orc army that's yellow.
Your 40k has it as well. Yes, there is a yellow clan. They're the greedy ones. They're essentially the pirates, I think.
Oh, the yeah.
So they're the ones who will. Right. Okay. That Imperial Guard captain general wishes to hire us to fight off those Dark Eldar. The Greedy goes all those guns to help them do it. Okay. Yeah, we'll help you. Get rid of the Dark Eldar and turn around and attack the Imperial Guard.
Of course.
Those ones.
Fight.
Yep.
Isn't that an orc way?
And they're quite happy to accept your weapons to do it. And then obviously turn those weapons around and shoot you with them. After
That
this
sounds like a normal orc to me, though.
No, because these actually do what they say they was going to do in the first place. So they do get rid of the Dark Eldar first before they turn around and shoot you.
Okay, so that sounds more like a cunning orc.
Well, so they're a little bit un-orky by most orc standards. It's like, yeah, you're not quite trusted. You talk to Yumis. So they don't quite trust them. But
yeah,
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure those are the yellow ones. I may be wrong. My memory may be off on that one. Oh yes, me there. What's next? He's telling me to assemble that and then attach it to that. Of course you are. You're not going to tell me to attach the arm where I want it and then put the hand on so I can make sure it's positioned right. No. You're going to tell me, put the hand on first. And then make sure it's positioned, and then put the arm on and make sure it's positioned right.
Having difficulty?
No, just complaining.
Fair enough. That's what you usually do.
Yeah. Are you going to actually have a point of, or are you just going to be a rotating part of? There. Okay. Now I've got the difficult decision to make. I've got to decide whether I'm putting the shield on this bugger or not.
What does this? I can't remember what the storm shield gives him. Is it just an extra wound?
It is an extra wound.
Yeah.
Now this is
that
the
would
first.
Make him what? 6 wounds?
Yes.
Or is it 7?
No, 6. He's a 5 wound character, and it'll make him a 6 wound.
That extra wound could be useful, but
yeah, he's a 5 wound.
I do wish the storm shields were a 3+ invulnerable instead, like they used to be.
Yes, but the chaplain never got the storm shield.
No, I know, but in general, storm shield used to be a 3+ invulnerable save. It would be nice if it was a 3+ invulnerable save still.
This is the first time he's getting a storm shield.
Yeah. I don't know. What's his other options? I've not actually looked at the Terminator Chaplain in terms of options.
Oh, what physically? What he can? He has. Yeah. He has his beat you in the head stick.
I mean, in place of the storm shield.
A storm bolter.
All right, I'll take a storm shield any day then.
Mm.
An extra wound instead of 4 shots at strength 4. AP 0. Yeah, I'd rather have the storm shield.
True, he is melee based. That means I've
got to find the hand
for the storm shield. Where's the hand for
you're going to get him in combat in turn 2. Well, turn 3 if you fail your charge. It's you want him in combat. So give him the storm shield. The rest of the squad has enough storm bolters to go around.
True. And I do want to make sure he gets there.
To be honest, if that's the only option, storm shield or storm bolter, I'd go for storm shield every time.
I'm also thinking my Grey Knight friend can also use him. But I'm not sure if his can take a storm shield.
Say again?
Grey Knights don't take storm shields.
Don't think they need it. What are you thinking Grey Knights for anyway?
They can now take chaplains. Bri, good evening, mate. How are you doing, man? We're trying to figure out, do you want to take a gun or a shield, essentially? Which one's better? You're better at hitting things with a stick, so do you want a gun or a shield?
Shield, 100%.
What I do have other models that can proxy as Terminator chaplains, I suppose. Although I'm running very limited on Terminator characters now. Now that they've upscaled them, it's a little bit of a pain. This one does help quite considerably. It puts me up to 3 now. Terminator characters.
Oh, right, yeah. And Terminators now are extremely good. Like in 9th edition, they kind of like lost their oomph. But now with their toughness 5, 3 wounds, they're very, very, very good. And or a 4+ infun, because it used to be a 5+ infun for normal Terminators.
Yes, that 4+ does help.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're very hard to remove.
Yeah, depending who you are and how you go about it.
Yeah.
Was it?
And being able to rapid ingress them for free.
Yeah, I believe it was Grimaldus who made sure he took care of the Terminators quite deftly.
What do you mean?
When we played.
Right.
Well, no, it was
Grimaldus never did it. Grimaldus never did anything. You killed him and his squad before.
Oh yes, it was Helbrecht who decided.
It was Helbrecht that dealt with them because of his mortal wounds.
Yeah.
But in general, Terminators are very good. And to be fair, I rolled really well for that Helbrecht, and you rolled pretty badly.
Well, I'm going to have a read of this codex. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to rethink my strategies.
Being able to rapid ingress a Terminator squad for free is extremely good. Although your enemy can block you from doing that because you have to place the teleport homer. But if you place it right, you can either guarantee yourself to get it, or if you know your opponent's going first, if you know you're going first, which means, hold on, is it that right? No, if your opponent's going first, then you doing. Hold on, what am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
No, if you go first, rapid ingress is useless. Because if you rapid ingress in your opponent's turn 2, your unit can't move until your turn 3. So it's pointless. But if your opponent...
no, it works the same. It works the same regardless. It's like the Magic the Gathering rule when you can play something at the end of an opponent's turn.
Yes, but if your opponent is going...
Regardless, this is allowing you to bring something in, and then at the start of your next turn is going to be as though it was already there.
Yes, but if your opponent goes first, right, you can do it in his turn 2, and then in your turn 2, you can do your normal movement and shooting, right? Yes. So in turn 2, you essentially get a deep striking unit that can act straight away. But if you go first, you have to wait till your opponent's turn 2 to rapid ingress, which means you have to wait till your turn 3 before that unit can do its full move and shoot and charge.
What you're saying is you lose out on a turn.
Yeah, with that unit. So rapid ingress is, for that purpose, not as good if you go first.
It's a very, very minor. Yes, you lose out on a turn, but
that turn can be huge, especially if you're using the Firestorm Assault Force, because
true.
turn 2 is your biggest turn.
True, but if you're going first, it's kind of the penalty. There's got to be some penalty because there's not many penalties for going first in 40k. There's not many at all.
In rapid ingress, there isn't really much a penalty. As long as you can rapid ingress them into a place where your opponent can't shoot them, you're guaranteed that full move, shoot, and charge from wherever you want to deep strike them.
True, but as I said, there is very little penalty already for. So even a minor inconvenience of it being all right, slightly a turn late, then I don't mind that because I got to go first. That first turn advantage in 40k has always been a killer.
Yeah.
It has always been a killer. So anything that can offset that, even by a minor amount, I'm like, yeah, let's go for that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because,
oh no, I get it. I get it totally. But like, if I'm going to rapid ingress, I tend to do it if my opponent's got turn 1, first turn. Otherwise, if I'm going first, then I will use the teleport home as basically like a lure, because the opponent wants to block me from using rapid ingress for free. So I'm going to put them in a place where strategically, if he blocks me from using the rapid ingress on that Terminator unit, he's got to go to a certain place. And if I put it in a very specific place, I can counter that. So I use it. So I either, if my opponent's going first, I use it with the intention of using the rapid ingress and getting the full move, turn, and shoot after deep striking. If I'm going first, I tend to use it to force my opponent where I want them to be, you know?
Right. That entire strategy, however, relies on your opponent deep striking.
No. Why does it rely on them deep striking?
I thought you brought them in after your opponent has deep striked.
No, you bring them in after the movement phase.
So it's just at the end of the move. As I said, I'm going to have a real good look through this properly. So
if the opponent wants to deep strike, then I have to wait until they're finished deep striking. But I don't have the opponent doesn't have to deep strike for me to rapid ingress.
All right, fair enough. I shall.
It just allows me to deep strike in the opponent's turn, so that the next turn I get my full move, shoot, and charge.
Yeah, it just allows you to drop them in out of phase, essentially, out of sync.
Yeah, and as long as you drop them in somewhere where they can't be seen to be shot at, other than indirect weapons, they're invincible.
And most of the time, indirect. Well, I say most of the time. I've still actually yet to play the guard player properly yet in 10th at all. So I shall find out how.
Yeah.
Well, he's got plenty of Russes. He does have a Baneblade chassis. He has the potential for plenty of infantry. And he also has some Tempestus Scions.
Okay, it's interesting. I've not played anyone with them yet.
Well, I've not played them yet either, and I know those are one of the models that he has, one of the sets of models that he has built. So he's like, right, okay, I've never played against them. What are they like? I may get to find out. I may not. I don't know, because as I said,
apparently, if you take 2 of them and put them in a Chimera, it's quite a nasty little combination. You don't put them in a unit.
2 what?
I can't remember. It was on Auspix Tactics. It's just a good unit to not put with a unit. You know, like have a bodyguard unit, have 2 of them in a Chimera, and you get like 2d6 plus 6, like strength 6 AP 2 shots with them each turn or something like that, and double blast. You know.
Oh, is it something like Ogrins? Just stick however many you can in and just fire them forward with the guns.
I don't know. I can't remember. But it's their psychic weapon, their psychic ability.
It's
like a strength 6 blast weapon.
Yes, primary psychers. So yeah, if there's one of them, it's this strength. If there's more than one, it's this strength. So you stick 2 of them there, right? Okay, and another unit 2 in and fire them forward. primary psychers are always a weird unit, and it kind of weirded me out when you brought out the primary Space Marines, because I was aware of the fact that the
Yeah, no, I've
Guard
seen
already
primary
had.
psycho and I think the Space Marines, but yeah.
But no, yeah, primary psycho was first, and was how the Guard had psychers.
Yeah. But yeah, something with them, two of them in a Chimera is apparently quite a nasty little combination. Just them on their own. Because obviously the Chimera counts as having the weapon, so the Chimera can move and shoot it.
Yes. And with it being the psychic weapon as well, it's quite nice.
It is.
Right. Is that him being left to dry? Yes, it is. Right. Make the other crows, yes, because I've cut it off and I don't want to lose. And then it gives me another. I've got storm bolts.
I was thinking about psychers the other day. I quite miss the psychic phase. Because the psychers don't feel anything special anymore. It's just another ability in the unit. You know what I mean? They don't feel unique.
I don't miss the psychic phase. What I miss is the psychic test.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you missed the psychic test. I liked the psychic test. It gave them something different to make them unique. You know.
Well, what's a smite at the moment? Do you know offhand, or I'm going to go look for it because.
Yes, it's D6 shots, strength 6, AP 1, damage D3. But you can overcharge it.
No,
you can make it hazardous and make it. Oh, it's strength 5. Sorry, and you can make it hazardous and make it strength 6 minus 2 AP.
Right. No, I wouldn't do it that way. I would still give it a smite. I would still give it the D6. I would automatically put that to a 9. That becomes a 3. That can stay at a D3. Fine.
It's too powerful then. It's way too powerful. You'd have to put up the points for the librarian. Way too much for that.
To use smite, it has the psychic keyword, and all things with a psychic keyword will work.
Oh, if you had the psychic test,
and then you have a psychic test.
If you had the psychic test and you had the chance of blowing yourself up by rolling double ones and stuff like that, yeah, absolutely. But there is a hazardous rule on there.
No, hazardous isn't enough. In this case, it would have to be you roll 2 dice. If you get any doubles, you take 3 mortal wounds.
Any doubles? Oh no, it was only double ones.
Any doubles. But then again, you've got a strength 9 AP for D6 blast D3 damage weapon. It is ridiculously overpowered.
I think that would put a lot of people off using it then if it was any doubles, because
you could limit it to double 1 or double 6 if you wanted to, but I certainly wouldn't have a single double.
No, it used to be double 1s and double 6s. That's what I would go with. Or you could have 2 profiles for it, like it has now, and have double 1 and double 6 normal, or you can supercharge it and have it on any doubles, and then that could be the strength 9 one.
No, because in that case, I'll drop it to a strength 7, and the overcharge would become 14. You charge so much through, you're doubling the power of the psychic energy.
Maybe, don't know.
That way, it's when it's not overcharged, it's not lethal. It's not too bad for lighter vehicles and some other stuff, but it's still pretty scary for things like Terminators. D6 and D3 is still pretty scary for Terminators. -4 AP is still pretty scary for Terminators. Well, it automatically puts them on the invulnerable save anyway. So it's not like it's a soft touch, but it's not overpowered that way. As soon as it becomes 14, it's like, holy crap, this thing could take down a Land Raider. Yeah, but it could also take me out. So and very quickly.
I think that is a bit too high strength.
That's why you would pay too high a price if it's up. It sounds more orky, I know, but I would love to write rules.
It sounds overpowered for the level of game 40K is right now.
Well, you see, that little
Because that would
thing there.
suddenly make him one of the best units in the game, and that's not right for
At a
a
cost,
secondary character.
at a cost,
Hmm.
at an extreme cost, because every time you used it, you would have to take that test.
Not really an extreme cost if it's 3 wounds, because it's still gonna. You can still fail twice before it actually affects your army.
No, because you'll take it like the old. You take it the old way. So if it's 3 shots, you take 3 tests. If it's 1 shot, you take 1 test. If it's 6 shots, it's D6. Remember, so 6 shots, you take 6 tests.
No, I don't like that. It's too clunky. It doesn't fit with 10th edition.
That's why I don't like 10th edition. They turned it into a Well, it's
Well,
not.
no, I think that's a good thing. Get rid of the clunkiness, because at the moment, 10th edition is very clunky. Well, sorry, 9th edition was very clunky and long-winded, but 10th edition right now is actually fairly reasonably streamed out.
It is, but to a cost of what I think is the detriment of some of the character of the game.
I don't think so. I think the character is in the game
No.
in abundance, particularly with the detachments.
Do you know what that is?
I can't really see. Oh, it's part of a shock attack gun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the shock attack gun was definitely
That is the perfect example of the decline of what 10th and 9th and 8th has done.
But that's one weapon.
No, that's
I
just
agree with you. We've lost some character in the shock attack gun, but that doesn't mean 10th edition as a whole has lost character.
The blast templates, the template things, I prefer to the D6 roll and inches. I prefer templates.
Yeah, but the problem with the templates is there was always an argument over how many models were underneath a blast template in every single game I've ever played and seen anyone playing. That was the problem with the blast template, because you're stood on one side of the board, the enemy stood on the other, and there's always an argument. No, there's 4 models under there. No, there's only 3, and it was always an argument, and it was pointless. So I get you. I liked the blast templates and the flamer templates, but I understand completely why they got rid of it. And overall, it's a good move to remove that, in my opinion.
Let's go back to them. But that's only a preference, and if I wish to do that, I suppose I could always go play Horus Heresy.
Well, yeah, Horus Heresy is what, 7th edition or something, isn't it? 7th.
Essentially, yes, it's the last edition that uses the template rules and the rules that closest to the rules that I preferred.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to Epic, or? Well, it's not really Epic because it's Horus Heresy, but you know what I mean.
Not really. No, well, yes and no. I like the idea, and I've always loved. Epic's always been one of the things from my childhood that I remember seeing in Games Workshop on tables for me to be able to play test games off. So I remember seeing it and saw these ones out. So
I would be more interested if it was 40k and they still had the Eldar and the Tau and all that. But now it's literally just Imperium versus Imperium, and that to me is
that's what they did with Aeronautica, wasn't it? They brought out Imperium and Imperium first, and then they slowly brought out everything else.
But they've already said that Legions Imperialis is going to be Horus Heresy only, and they're not going to be doing the alien races. They've already said that they're not going to do that.
What, for Epic? For the new one?
Yeah, they've already said it.
What the bloody idiots?
They've said they have no plans whatsoever to bring it into
wait. They have no plans. That's different. Plans change.
Yes, but it's unlikely. They said that they do not want to do it, and they're keeping it in the horror service.
Right, they released Shadow War Kill Team, or Kill Team, something. Shadow War Armageddon. Sorry, they released that
Yeah.
friggin' years ago. And it was essentially Kill Team, but with a little bit like Necromunda. It sold well, so they said, "Oh, here's a good idea. We'll make it into 2 games then. We'll release Kill Team and we'll release Necromunda."
Kill Team's always been out though, hasn't it? Kill Team's been out as long as I remember.
No. Shadow War Armageddon was released first, as what I can guess was a tester for whether or not a skirmish game would work, because they already had Necromunda under the belt and under the licensing, so they were okay with that. They already had a game that they could re-release and that they knew that they had a chance of having a market for. But Shadow War Armageddon, that when they released that, it was Scouts versus Orcs, and it worked in a similar way. You had so
When
many
was this?
resources. Oh dear Lord! Right.
From that reaction, I guess it was before I got into the hobby.
I don't know. Let's share.
Because I remember wanting to collect Kill Team back like 20 years ago. Because I actually had a Kill Team in mind for it, and that was a Black Templar one.
All right. If for some reason it won't bring it up, let me find out. Tell us if we can spell. Where's going to give me the most amount of details? Well, that tells me nothing. That tells me absolutely jack diddly. I can't actually find the release date. Maybe if we actually typed it in. April 2017, it says.
No, Kill Team existed before then. Certainly the modern version of Kill Team, maybe, but Kill Team has been around for a lot longer than that.
First edition was. Second edition was 2018. With the next actual box set Kill Team for first and second edition was 2018.
No, it was a lot.
But first edition in 2016 with his tagline was brutal close combat quarters.
There must have been a version
close
of
quarters combat. So yes, there was another version of Kill Team released in 2016.
There must have been something earlier than that, because I remember building a Kill Team army, and I haven't played. I had a 8-year gap before coming back last year.
Let's see if this shines any more information. For some reason, I can't share my.
Hi, rabbit hole.
Hello, Kirsty. We're actually on our way down a rabbit hole at the moment. Don't make me click anymore. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Right. Okay. Will it let me share this screen? Yes, it will. Aha. So let's go see if this sheds any information on it. See. Let's see if that's what I'm talking about. Is that what you're talking about in 2013?
I don't know. Maybe, possibly. It's It's probably around the same time frame. Because remember, I had an 8-year gap, 7 or 8 year gap, and I came back in at the end of 9th edition. So
that's called Apocalypse Kill Team. So Warhammer 40,000 Apocalypse Kill Team.
I don't remember it being called Apocalypse Kill Team, but maybe, I don't know.
That was 2013 one. Then yes, 2016 for first, 2018 second, and 2021 third. So you're right, there was one earlier.
Of course I was. Told you, I'm always right.
You're more of a geek on this than I am. That's quite impressive.
No, it's because there's an Armageddon book called Conquest for Armageddon, which was about Black Templars, which was the book I based my main Black Templar army over. And that had it was a story based around 9 Black Templar kill team. And that inspired me to make the exact same kill team for myself, and I built the models and converted them, and I played a game or two with them, and that was, like I say, a long time ago.
See, I've not tried Kill Team.
I want to get back into doing it because it's a pretty cool set of rules, pretty cool game.
I'm not. See, I do like Necromunda, but I like Necromunda because of the paperwork and math that comes after and at the end and before.
Yeah, and you get that with Kill Team and Crusade as well, because I'm running a Crusade campaign right now, and it's quite fun.
But you don't get anywhere near as much as it. You don't get anywhere near as much because.
Oh yeah, of course.
You
Crusade is simplified
overhaul.
If it is 40k, not Kill Team. Yeah, it's considerably less.
Well, I don't know how much can you customize your Kill Team members.
As far as I know, it's pretty much similar to Necromunda, but I'm not 100%.
Right, because I don't know, because Necromunda is pretty diverse. You could actually have someone equipped with a las cannon and a flamer, and have them equipped like that on the field.
Well, that sounds a bit ridiculous because the las cannon would be a bit too heavy to be carrying.
It's a two-handed weapon. It's a two-handed weapon. You would have to stay still to fire it, but it would take up 2 slots in your weapon.
Yeah.
Components, but you would still have 1 slot left over, which would fit a flamer in.
Yeah.
So you could be equipped with a las cannon and a flamer. It would cost a crap ton of credits, but if you was rich enough, you could do it. And that's anybody. Anybody could be equipped that way. With potential, there is a big caveat on that because you are working with the market and it's what they've got available when you're looking for such rare and wonderful things. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I found a load of stuff that still needs undercoating again and base coating. As I said, I did clean up, so let's see what I found under here. So I found absolutely shed loads of stuff that needed undercoating. So Necromunda does have a big selection of how you kit your.
Oh, of course it does. I totally get that, and I do want to do Necromunda. It's just I've never looked at the models and thought, "Oh, awesome," and felt inspired to do it. I do like the Ash Waste models, and I like the idea of having vehicles, but it still doesn't make me go, awesome, I need to get this now. You know what I mean?
Well, what they've done with this edition of Necromunda compared to the first edition is quite... They've gone over the top. The first edition of Necromunda was it was solely spire based. You was in one of the hives. You didn't go out into the ash waste. You were hive gangs. So you had nothing to do with the ash wastes and the waste outside. But there were obviously houses that ran the hives. So eventually you ended up with a group of 4, and it was 4 special characters. And you could only take one of each, and your gang would only ever consist of one of each, and the 4 things. But they were so goddamn overpowered. That's all you needed. It didn't matter if they had 12 gangers. Yours were good enough to overtake them once you were at equalish levels. But each gang did have its own flavor, and well, it actually does have more now than it did, but each gang had its own flavor, and now they just emphasized it a bit more through their basic selections of what they've got in their in-house selection of weapons and things they can get for a bit cheaper rather than going to the what's it called?
When I mean character, I mean more the miniatures themselves. I don't feel inspired by the character of the miniatures just yet.
That's because what they've done is they've gone, here's what we think you should equip them with.
No, I mean the general aesthetic of each of the faction.
Really?
I don't like any of them as much. I like the Ash Waste ones, the aesthetics of them, the general aesthetics of them look interesting, but not enough for me to want to collect them.
Yes, I understand what you mean. That's why I'm using Scouts as Vansar, because I don't want to buy a box of Vansar. I'll use Scouts instead. I have enough I have Scouts with chain blades and pistols. I have Scouts with shotguns. I have Scouts with bolters. I have Scouts with heavy bolters. I have Scouts with missile launchers. I've got Scouts with sniper rifles.
Yeah.
I can put a gang together of that one's the champion, that one's that champion, that one's the leader, and that one's gang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Easy enough and make them definable enough that people can go, oh yeah, so it is. And it makes it look so much. Yeah, the Scouts look better than the Vansar, even though they're slightly bigger than what they would be. And I've managed to go an hour and 12 minutes on building a chaplain.
Has it been that long?
Yes, it has. And his arm is still not set yet, which is going to do my head in. It's really going to do my head in.
How can it not be set? Plastic glue is instant.
No, it's not.
Really?
Really?
I don't know what plastic glue you're using then. All right, okay.
It's not
Have
instant.
you made proper contact with it? Because I've never had to wait for that plastic glue before. To be honest with you,
I must admit, sometimes it's not rare. It happens enough so that I know that it's not always instant. But it only ever happens on the bits that you don't want it to happen on. It never happens on the bits where you could do with it happening. So, for instance, if I dropped his head in there and it wasn't right, I was screwed, because that was one of the times that he decided he was going to make instant. Yep, no, he's not moving anywhere. Bugger. So if I'd have dropped it in, it would have been good. Yeah. This one, I could have just swum with it going, right, I just need you to sit there and just sit, thank you. And he's going, nope, I'm peeling away because of this shield. It's like, oh, for God's sakes. Because all it does is melt the plastic. And if the plastic doesn't harden again in time, that's causing the peel. Essentially, if you use a tad bit too much glue, it can happen. So there's a small tip. Don't use too much glue. Use the applicator. Don't let it get clogged up and have to take it out and use the little white bit. And there we are. We have my chaplain in Terminator armor. Now, I don't have my other Terminator armor models here with me to go ta-da with, because they're all still at the other place with the rest of my Terminators and the other stuff to play Tyranids.
The other place?
Yes, my friend's place where I currently have
Oh,
all my stuff to play.
I thought you
So-
meant like you're moving house or something.
Oh,
for a second.
hell no. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm just, I'm actually double checking that I haven't left a Terminator here of at least some description, because I do actually have quite a few models laid out under there at the moment. My shooting. That was my tidying up, by the way. He's not completely clear. It's just my desk is a little bit more clear. There's quite a lot of models still.
When you said it was a tidy desk, I was thinking something completely different to that.
Yeah, but my desk is tidy-ish. Well, except for the stuff that I've dug out that I realised that I need to sort out. And
I mean, I can't criticize right now because my desk is a mess right now.
so
So many commissions sat on it.
Well, I have found a plethora of scenery that I thought I got done. I thought I was done with my scenery. I thought I'd finished, apart from the storage containers. But apparently not. I found more scenery that I have not yet painted up. That's not including my MDF terrain, which I've got to finish other things for as well, because I'm filling out the bottom of one of them. So, all right. I need to get my airbrush out.
I got a new compressor the other day.
I just had a look saying that if I set my airbrush up, then my computer's not going to be on for much longer. So, what compressor did you get? Was it one with a bigger tank and a lower volume?
I'll show you it.
I shall swap us over for a moment then.
Just get a better view. Sorry about the mess on my table. Pile of models, literally.
Oh yeah, you talk about mess on the table. Oh, okay.
60 quid off Amazon. Pretty
That's
decent.
not bad. That's not bad at all. So it's got a tank as well as so it doesn't have to run constantly. You can build up a decent.
No, it's got like an auto turn on and off function, so you can constantly use it.
Yeah, it'll maintain the pressure, essentially, which is what you need it to do.
Yeah, exactly. It seems pretty good. I've used it once or twice to start painting a model, which is oh crap! I just broke a model. Thankfully, it just broke off the base, so that's fine.
You dumbass! You absolute dumbass!
It was this model. So Ionis, never mind the fact that it's shiny. That's just the effect of one of the things, and of the base is going to be darker as well. It is doing this to masterclass standard. I've had like the base coat and one layer of coat of red on it.
One
quite a nice model. It's a really nice model.
My camera has decided that it wants to disconnect itself because it was looking at me for some reason. There we go. Yeah, I should make it the other way actually, because then it wouldn't disconnect the wire. Right. There's no point looking at my desk. I'm not doing anything on my desk at the moment.
But I've got a whole army of dragons to paint.
With
Ionis being the leader. It's a cool. I've got 2 boxes of Stormduit guards, so that's 4 of the smaller dragons. Him.
Yes.
Then I've got Crondis, the bigger dragon that's on the rock. And then I've got Ionis comes with another 2 Stormdrakes. So there's 6 of them, Ionis and Crondis. So
8 dragons.
Yeah, 8 dragons, and that makes up a 2,000-point army, which is pretty cool.
So it's like playing Custodes then? Playing Custodes?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right.
It's a pretty cool list.
I know I've been missing for a week, and I'm going to try not to do that very often if I can help it. But I am going to call this one for this evening because I've built the model. but I need to get the airbrush out, and I'm not allowed to at this time of night because it's dark and people are going to bed. So I'm going to get the airbrush out at some point tomorrow and do my undercoating. So next week, it might be a chaplain. It might be the apothecary, just so I can finish him off, because he's kind of sat there doing me.
You mean paint the rest of the white on it?
No, but I'm going to turn the camera back now.
I'm joking.
No. But that bit is going to stay. Let's start the camera. So the appendage on the top is going to be white still. This leg is going to be white. Obviously, that shoulder pad's going to be white. This one's going to be painted blue till we stand up with the chapter. And then other parts of him may be painted in white as well, such as anything with the apothecary symbol on it. So it may be a brown pouch, but that section there will be painted in white.
The apothecary symbol is meant to be red because it's blood. White armor, red apothecary symbol. There.
Yeah, you're going to hate all my apothecaries. You're going to
Yes, I already do.
Right, you do realise that he's getting a blue shoulder pad, don't you?
That's fine. The chaplains are meant to be black with the shoulder pad colour representing the chapter.
But he's going to have white ribs.
Okay, that's fine. I've seen people paint the ribs of Terminators in different colours like that. That's not too bad, as long as the majority of the armour is black.
Well, yeah, because my arm is black. I'm going to have to leave his shield black, though, as well. Even though I've painted my blade guard veterans blue.
I mean, this is all just a bit of fun. You can obviously paint it how you want, but
no,
I will hate you just as much if you do it.
I know. So I will be leaving his shield black instead of painting it blue like I have done with everybody else who's got a star shield. His won't be going blue. But yeah, I think it might be a little bit lighter than you want it to be.
Well, I mean, if you're doing it the slap chop method, it's going to be very difficult to get it the kind of black that I think it should be anyway. So
not necessarily. That's the point. Well, not necessarily with this one, because I made
the chaplain black is different to like Black Templar black, though. Like chaplain black is meant to be like a super dark, cold black.
Chaplain black's more like that type of.
Yeah, like almost like it's just been primed chaos black and left like it is, almost like that, but not quite.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the darker of the sets, but he's got a lot of skulls on him and a lot of pieces of paper. I don't understand the pieces of paper. Still don't understand that. But there's a lot of skulls and a lot of pieces of paper.
A piece of paper for all the litanies he has to remember.
But look, some of them have far too many pieces of paper for you to have to go and find. And this one's got a piece of paper covering his crotch. That's so you know he's a chaplain.
Well,
the librarian's got a book there.
He's obviously had to kill a load of sisters, so he's just being polite.
Well, the librarians get books. Apparently, the captains get some kind of bone. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. So yeah, how you tell what they are in the army is what they've got dangling between the legs, apparently. Okay.
Or by the colour of the model.
Well, no, because he's got vials of stuff hanging down, medical equipment hanging down near his crotch, so he's an apothecary.
And he would be white.
He's got a white leg. Where's the other one? Saw someone with a cloth. Oh, he also had a cloth. But yeah, some of them have other things. But only the leaders. If they're not leaders, then they don't have anything. And you just have to walk around in their armor. You don't get to have any
aggressors tend to. Every aggressor comes with something hanging around the crotch.
Something like a cross or a.
Yeah, all the models have something like that. and you can't not put them on as well. You know,
Oh, that's
unless you
annoying.
do like heavy conversion work,
That's
which,
annoying.
as you know, I can't be bothered.
Nope. So you've built them all as they should be. I mean, like that. Try and get it close enough so you can know.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah,
Like a little thing there.
one of
That's
them
an
has
old
like
stone guard, but
one of them has like a box with a big key, a golden key on it. You know.
oh yeah, I think I've seen that one. I didn't enjoy him. He was annoying because I forgot to do his key. I'm also not necessarily looking forward to doing him because I realise I've got to paint some of my Tyranid stuff on it, and I don't want to paint some of my Tyranid stuff on it.
You can
But it
put
would
it
only,
in different Tyranid faction.
no, because it'll be the only Tyranid faction he faces.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be. It would make sense for it to be that Tyranid faction. The same with any. I've left most of the Necrons that are on bases for some of the captains because I've got to find out what colour my friend's doing his Necrons so I can paint them appropriately to be dead on the bases.
You need to find more friends who play 40k. You only ever talk about you playing with playing games with your friend who has half of his collection is your collection or something.
Well, because of the volume I've got, it's easy to proxy, but they do have enough models to field certain armies of their own. But it's an expensive hobby. It's a very expensive
It is.
hobby.
I know it is. Absolutely. That's why I wanted to do my business to make it cheaper for some people, you know. But I get that. I get it's not cheap.
It's not cheap at all, and you've got to sink a lot of time into it. So
you do.
Because I already started with a relatively largish force before I was before I became a parent, is probably the easiest way to say it. And all my time was sucked up in other matters that were far more important than tiny little plastic soldiers.
Nothing is more important than playing with plastic soldiers. No, what are you talking about?
Of course it is. So, yeah, I made a massive collection then. It was like, So now when I get a bit of free time, it's like, right, what do you want to play? Well, I want to try that, and that, but I don't have it. So it's all right, you use that of mine, and that's about the right size, and use that, and you've got that, that's about the right size for that, and that's about, let's play. Right. And we can all play very different forces, and we're not all forced to play. Like, I know what you're going to take, I know what you're going to take, I know what you're going to take.
Yeah, I get it.
It just makes it fun. It turns it more one-page rulesy than 40k, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he takes those as a proxy so often, or would take those as a proxy because those are the things he keeps asking for to proxy them, that I know now that when he's using them for that army, that's that unit. And so does he, because it becomes easier available for him to. I'm not going to use a lot of my stuff. Lots of my stuff will go unused most of the time, unless I really decide to change it up.
Yeah.
So my tactical squads, you're pretty free to go kind of borrow them, because I want to mash you out with fire warriors. It's like, fair enough. Well, he doesn't tell me what he's using for, but he wants the 20. He wants the small base for infantry rather than the 32, which the Primaris are on.
Yeah.
There you go. How many do you need? What, 70? Awesome. There you go. You've got 70 of them. I need something. Crisis battle suits are about with the big heavy, the big rail guns that they can have.
Yeah, absolutely. They're devastating.
They're about the same size as the old Dreadnought.
Yeah.
They're a little bit smaller, but same size base, similar. He's got one of them, but if he wants to take 3, there you go, 200 knots. I'll be using my primary size ones anyway because I want to play true scale Marines if I can, as much as possible. I would prefer to play true scale Marines, which is why I'm enjoying the primary stuff that are coming out. because
Oh, right. I thought you were against true scale. I thought you preferred the old school.
I prefer the old school rules, but I want to play true scale Marines.
Right. Get you.
Which is so I'm all for having these bigger models, but if I was to move back into 7th, then I would still use my Primaris. But when I put my Primaris together, I would have this guy in a unit, and then because I can have a special weapon, I would have this guy in the unit to represent a flamer, or a Hellblaster to represent a plasma gun, or use these ones to represent special weapons and use the Hellblasters to represent heavy weapons. And I would field tactical squads at primary size.
Yeah, I get you.
Obviously, having lots of bigger ones, Gravis would make them very easy to turn over to become Terminator. So, ta-da, I've got a Terminator Sergeant to go along with 4 of those 9 aggressors to make a 5-man Terminator squad, and take another one to go with the other 4, and there's another 5-man Terminator squad, because there's similar sizings, which would give me a hell of a lot more Terminators, which obviously you can do anyway. Just going, all the Gravis stuff isn't Gravis, it's all Terminator, and it's done. You go, yay. And they know for future, or they know for that game at least. It's a great thing about proxies. Right, I did say about 30 odd minutes ago that I was going to close this down.
Yeah, it's partly my fault.
Nah, I can get talking quite easily. And I need to plan. Well, I just need to set up and spray those bloody things. If it ever stops raining, it doesn't stop raining. It never stops raining. But I do have this chaplain.
Of course it doesn't stop raining. You're in the UK. In fact, you're in England. It's even worse down there.
I know.
You know, because God or whatever higher being there might exist knows that England is a shithole.
Even when I went to Ireland, it rained.
Yep.
It was just. Although it wasn't as bad while I was in Ireland, I've got to say, the rain was nowhere near as bad. I would have been absolutely pissed wet through if I'd spent as much time outside around here than as I did in Belfast.
Yeah.
It would have been a completely different situation. Right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. Thank you, Sinscape, for coming to join me and having a conversation with me and chat away about complete, rubbish, because it's plastic soldiers in the game that we're talking about, and in the grand scheme of things, it's something to distract us, and that's all it's done. It's distracted us for a little bit and made us feel a little bit happy and go, I like doing this, so it's fun.
It's something different for me. I mean, pretty much all I do every day is paint, but it's something different to be able to talk and paint for a change.
Well, it's something different for me to be up here and not on my own channel anyway, and not talk and paint, because I'm usually painting, of course. But yeah, I'm going to decide what I want to do, because I might paint some orcs up, because I have been feeling a bit of a Space Marine dirge again, as I often do, because there's so bloody many of them that I've got to paint.
Yeah.
So I have been feeling it a little, and I do have some editing left to do. But yes, thank you everybody who's joined me this evening. Kirsty, Bry, Beaky, everybody, anybody else who's joined in and popped in and not said hello, but hello. Thank you anyway. If you're catching this in the future, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. And until next time, I'll see you all later. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm an idiot and did that the wrong way around. I didn't click end stream because I'm an idiot. So let's try that again. See you later, everybody.